Hey guys, it's Richard, CEO of Altfins, with another market update. Today I'll do a quick review of the market and then I'll review a few trade setups in our Curated Charts section. Now let's take a look at some of the price action recently. As you recall, we've pulled back recently really from the rally that we saw in late June and July. So let's take a look at the performance. And now we've really given up most of those gains and pulled back. So in the last week, Bitcoin is down about 5.5%, Ethereum is down 3%, not terrible. In the last month, down 12% on Bitcoin. Ethereum is actually outperforming, it's about flat, thanks to the hype around the merge, and which I do think is actually a valid reason and a valid catalyst for the entire market, particularly the Ethereum ecosystem. But if we look at the trend, most coins are in this down or neutral sort of trend rating that we have on the short-term, medium, and a long-term basis. So we are still technically in the down market. So we've got to be careful when trading. Now, overall, I do think that we've been sort of trending in a very sort of choppy market, driven by various macro data points. But I do think we'll go sideways over the next couple of weeks ahead of two other major macro events. One will be on September 13th, there will be another CPI or Consumer Price Index or inflation data reading for the month of August that will come out on September 13th. So it's in about 10 days. And that could move the market one way or another. I think it could be actually bullish. And another 3 weeks from now, on September 21st, the Fed, the US Central Bank, will have a meeting to decide on the next interest rate increase. And there's been sort of a big debate whether that's going to be a larger 75 basis point increase or a smaller 50 basis point increase. So we've got a couple of big macro events coming up. But until then, I think the markets will be choppy, up and down, sideways. And what do you do in the sideways market? You can trade it. You can trade it. Actually, it's a really easy trade setup through trading sideways channels. The general rule is you buy close to support and then you sell close to the resistance. So let's take a look at some of the trade setups. And so again, since we are technically still in a down market, this isn't a market for trend traders per se, because trend traders obviously would need a nice established trend, but it really is more of a swing traders market where you sort of have shorter term trades, buying and selling depending on how sort of the momentum and where we are relative to support and resistance. So let's take a look at some specific examples. So under our curated chart section, what we do here, these are basically some basic technical analyses that we do for about 55 coins. And they're really an excellent way for beginners to find trading ideas as well as learn the basics of technical analysis. If you study some of these charts, you'll be able to, I think, grasp some of the really key concepts on how to analyze price action. So let's look at, for example, the first one, AAVE. Here is our basic trade setup or technical analysis. And what we do here, we look at support zones and resistance zones. We look at the RSI, which is together with MACD, a good momentum indicator. RSI is a relative strength index. So basically, how is the price moving relative to other last 14 days price movements? And that's why it's RSI 14. MACD, which is a moving average convergence divergence, basically compares two moving averages. And if they're headed sloping upwards or downwards, and captures that. That's a great trend and momentum indicator as well. And then we've got the OBV, which captures the volume data and the trend in sort of the buying volume and selling volume. It's called on balance volume. And so in this case, what we say here as a trade setup says that, you know, we had a breakout from the falling wedge, which played out really nice. And then the price reached a certain level where it encountered heavy selling at around $115. It's also close to the 200-day moving average, and it's pulled back to about $80. As you can see, it's bounced a couple of times off of that support level. So that support level is solid, and we'd be inclined to buy it near it. Well, I would be inclined to buy it near that support level, with the presumption that it could bounce back up to that resistance zone of $115. And the next one here is Cardano, and that's a sideways channel. As you can see here, pattern type. It's a sideways channel. It's emerging, so there has not been a breakout. But a lot of the charts, or a lot of the coins are trading in the sideways channels. As you can see, Cardano, Avalanche, Axie Infinity, FTX token, Hedera hash graph, all these are in the sideways channel. I could actually just filter out just sideways channels and look at those. So let's look at Cardano. And here we've seen that, you know, after trading in a descending triangle, it broke out, but really it just kind of settled into this sideways channel now between 40-cent support zone and the 55-cent resistance zone. And more recently, it bounced off of that 40 cents, and it looks like it could be headed back to 55. So, you know, a swing trader would basically buy it near that support zone of 40 cents. Now again, it's not exact, right? It's near the 40 cents, so between 40 and 45, and sell it close to that resistance zone of 55 cents. And let's take a look at another sideways channel setup. I think Axie Infinity looks interesting because it's really trading right at the support zone of 14 cents. And again, it's been bouncing between $14 and $21 for the last really three months or so, since May, June, July, August, really almost 4 months now within that zone. And we could have traded it several times by buying it near the support zone of the channel and selling it near the resistance zone of the channel. So again, trading the channel, the sideways channels, is relatively easy because, you know, we're talking about horizontal resistance or horizontal support zones that are relatively easy to identify over time. And the nice thing about this one actually is that the MACD indicator, which is a momentum indicator, has crossed over into a bullish zone as indicated by the buy flag. And that's the other thing that I would recommend that you do, is you actually can create a watch list from the list of curated charts that we have here, and then analyze it further in the screener. So I actually have a watch list made out of the 55 coins, and then I can go to the screener and filter all of the coins just for the 55 that are on the watch list, on the Curated Charts watch list. And then I can do an additional filtering and analysis. So one of the things that I noticed recently is that, and we can look at the charts here, that we've seen some bullish momentum across the board, some bullish momentum indications or inflection. And that is indicated here on the MACD indicator, specifically on MACD histogram. As you can see, these blue bars are not going down anymore. They're actually rising and are very close to crossing over into the bullish zone. And as this rise is occurring, that's an indication that the selling has dried up and the buying is picking up. And so we can see that across the board that for the most part, a lot of these coins are seeing Solana, Cardano, Ripple are seeing a bullish inflection in their MACD histogram, or momentum is improving. So we are at a point where we should anticipate an upswing in the price, because the prices go through these swings, up and down swings. We can see that in the MACD indicator as well. And so that suggests that in the near term we could see a nice bounce up after some heavy selling in the last couple of weeks that we've experienced, the pullback. So having said that, let's go ahead and filter my watch list that I've already applied. Let's filter this watch list and say, show me all those that have a bullish MACD histogram, so that inflection in momentum. Okay, so now filter down to those. I could also apply other filters. I could be more stringent and say, okay, I just want in fact those that have already had a crossover in MACD. Okay, and just say crossed above, so bullish in the last 5 intervals. So there's 8 of those. Okay, MATIC, Polygon, and so on. And then I could look at the individual setups here, as well as the curated charts for these, because all of these have curated charts, so basically a technical analysis. In the case of MATIC, we see that the price bounced off of the support zone 75 cents. It's now headed back to that $1 level, where I think it's going to have a fair amount of resistance. It was rejected on 3 occasions around that level, but if it does break above that, it's likely to head back to $1.30 or so. So there's still a little bit of upside here from the 90 cents to $1, so about 10% upside, a potential on MATIC. We can look at Cosmos here as well. So the point is that once you create a watch list and you filter your watch list for the curated charts coins, and then you can examine and then further analyze the trade setups. And here, Cosmos, it's actually broken above the resistance zone of $12.50. So that's a bullish sign. RSI is and the MACD are both bullish as well, and so this price could really break out here up to that perhaps near-term resistance zone of the 200-day moving average at around $17. Let's take a look at the near situation here. Create a chart here. Now it's actually approaching, so it's pulled back and now it's swinging back up to that $5 resistance zone as indicated in our curated chart. So I would wait for the situation here to see if the price is able to break above that $5, and then that would be an indication of potential trend reversal. And so last one here, cake. Let's take a look at this situation here. Also after breaking out of the channel down, it's been bouncing between $3.30 and $5, and so now with the recent bullish MACD crossover and RSI crossing over 50, which is also a bullish zone, we could see the price revisit that $5 resistance zone. So right now it's at $4. Could be another 25% potential upside. Okay guys, I hope this helps. Again, more than anything, just the technique and the process that I think you should go through with the use of Altfin's platform as a tool to help you identify some interesting trade setups. If you have any questions, please email us at invest@altfins.com. Thank you.